You ever think your life is finally settling into place, and then it takes a nosedive with no warning? Yeah. That was me. My name's Kira. I'm 24, living in Lviv, and I design things for a living. Mostly websites, logos, sometimes illustrations if the client's picky. I've got my own place, a decent income, a plant I haven't killed in 6 months, and a cat named Pixel who acts like he owns the lease. Life was good. Calm. Predictable. My boyfriend, Taras, was a bit less predictable. That was part of the charm. He was funny, kind of spontaneous, and always had a story to tell, even if half of them were probably fake. We'd been together 2 years. I wasn't planning a wedding or anything, but I thought we had something solid. Real. My best friend, Alya, thought he was a walking red flag wrapped in a charming grin. But I told her to give him time. That was mistake number 1. Taras and I met at a mutual friend's housewarming party. I spilled wine on his shoes. He told me they were cheap knockoffs anyway. I laughed, he flirted, I flirted back. It started like most stories do, harmless, sweet, and full of promise. He worked as a freelance videographer, mostly shooting weddings and events. He had this artsy, laid-back vibe that made people want to be around him. He wasn't rich, not by a long shot. But he had a spark. That thing that makes you feel like life with them will never be boring. And it wasn't. For better or worse. We moved in together after a year, partly because we were in love and partly because his roommate situation imploded. I had the space. It made sense. At first, it was fun, cooking together, late-night movies, spontaneous weekend trips when his work allowed it. But the charm had a shelf life. He'd cancel plans last minute. Leave his freelance projects half done. Start fights and act like nothing happened the next morning. There were red flags. Big ones. I just kept painting them white. Then came the little things. My charger disappearing. My leftover sushi eaten. His ex texting just to check in. Always a reason. Always a smile. And somehow, always my fault for being too sensitive. I started keeping mental tabs. Not like a crazy person, just observations. Like how he always had time for drinks with his friends but never helped me put together the IKEA wardrobe. Or how he said he couldn't afford rent this month but showed up with new sneakers. Still, I stayed. I thought I was building something. That we were figuring it out together. Then came the Thursday. Just a regular, gray, nothing special Thursday. I was home late from a client call when I saw Alya had sent me a message. Just a screenshot. No text. No emoji. Just cold, hard digital truth. It was from a girl I didn't know. A selfie of her and Taras. Her caption, movie night with my favorite guy Redheart. Timestamp? Last night. When he said he was working late. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just stared at the screen and thought. So this is how it starts. Alya showed up 20 minutes later with wine, chocolate, and her signature "Let's ruin a man" face. She didn't ask if I was okay. She didn't have to. She just poured the wine, opened her laptop, and said, "Let's see how deep this rabbit hole goes." I wanted to believe it was a mistake. Maybe it was an old photo. Maybe he was just being friendly. Maybe, no. I wasn't that naive. Not anymore. Taras came home around midnight, humming some indie song like nothing had happened. I watched him drop his backpack, take off his jacket, and head straight to the fridge like a man with no secrets. It almost made me laugh. I didn't say anything that night. I just watched him. Studied him. Every fake smile. Every casual gesture. It was like watching a movie after finding out how it ends. You notice all the details you missed the first time. The next morning, I I told him I had a meeting and left early. I met Alia at our usual cafe, and we got to work. She'd already found the other girl's Instagram, of course. Public profile. Lots of selfies. Lots of Tara's in the background. I didn't even know he liked sushi that much. We spent hours digging. Social media, tagged photos, check-ins. Turns out, the girl wasn't the only one. There were at least 3 more. One in Ivano-Frankivsk. One in Kiev. One literally in my building. Same hallway. 2 doors down. I'm gonna kill him, I said. No, Alia replied. We're going to bury him. Classy. Smart. Quiet. The kind of revenge he won't even see coming. I nodded. Let's set the whole damn forest on fire. We started with a plan. One we'd execute piece by piece. First, I started acting normal. Too normal. I kissed him good morning, made his coffee, listened to him complain about clients. I even offered to help him with editing gigs. He thought I was being sweet. I was just studying the enemy. Meanwhile, Alia did what she does best, dig. She found out one of the girls was only 18. Another had posted a picture of a necklace Tara's bought her, one I recognized because I'd paid for it. She even traced one of the photos he posted to a weekend he told me he was with his cousin in the Carpathians. Plot twist, he was in a spa hotel with girl number 3. We created a private drive. Every screenshot, every message, every timestamp, saved. Dated. Labeled. A betrayal archive. One night, I asked him how his client shoot went. He told me it was stressful, lots of changes, long hours. He smelled like perfume. Not mine. I smiled and handed him a beer. That's rough, I said. You deserve a break. He smiled, kissed me on the forehead, and I swallowed my disgust. The hardest part wasn't the lies. It was pretending I didn't already know. Taras thought he was winning. That's what made it fun. While he lounged around the apartment talking about how tough freelancing was, I was quietly funding his downfall. Every late-night coffee I brought him? Fuel. Every time I offered to edit something or help with invoices? More bait on the hook. He was broke, not just the regular kind of broke, but the kind where your PayPal balance decides whether you eat. And I, as the loving, clueless girlfriend, was happy to help. Because what are girlfriends for, right? You've been so supportive, he said one night. I don't know what I'd do without you. You'll never have to find out, I said, with the sweetest smile I could fake. Behind the scenes, Alia and I were making moves. She created a fake profile, Diana, a photographer from Ternopil looking to collaborate with videographers. Pretty, artsy, flirty. Diana reached out to Taras with a simple message, loved your reel. Want to work together? Taras replied within an hour. Classic. We built a whole online identity for Diana. Fake shoots, filtered selfies, mood boards, the works. Taras fell for it. Hard. Flirty texts turned into explicit ones. He tried to book a train to meet up. Meanwhile, I opened a shared folder labeled Wedding Clients on his computer. Inside? Every receipt, every conversation, every dirty secret. All backed up to cloud storage with his name watermarked on it. He didn't even notice. The final straw came when I checked my banking app and saw a charge at a jewelry store. A big one. He'd used my card, the emergency one I kept in the drawer, to buy a bracelet. I knew it wasn't for me. I didn't cry. I didn't rage. I took a screenshot and sent it to Alia. Her reply, time to burn it down. It started with a group message. I created it using burner accounts. Just 5 people, me, the other 4 girls Taras had been seeing, and Alia. I kept it simple. Hi. You don't know me, but we have something in common. His name is Taras. And then I dropped the link. It led to a private drive, meticulously organized by date, location, and betrayal level. Screenshots. Messages. Photos. Receipts. The Diana conversations. The lingerie receipt. The selfie he took with one of them while telling me he was visiting his sick aunt. Silence for about 10 minutes. Then the chaos started. One of them, Darina, the one from the same building, replied first. What the actual hell? Another, Sophia, was furious. She sent a voice note of herself crying and cursing his name. Then the Kiev girl asked if anyone wanted to meet up, not for drama, just for closure. That was when I knew I'd done something irreversible. We were no longer strangers. We were a coalition. That weekend, I told Taras I was going to visit my cousin. I packed a bag and left him with the apartment to himself. Alia and I rented a hotel room across town and waited for the explosion. It took 36 hours. Taras called me at midnight, slurring, crying, begging to explain. I didn't answer. He left 7 voicemails. By morning, he'd been kicked out of 2 freelancing groups, ghosted by at least 1 girl, and had a nasty cheater alert post floating around local Facebook forums. But it got worse. One of the girls, the youngest one, had a protective older brother who worked in media. He started asking around. Turns out Taras had borrowed equipment and never returned it. Another freelancer said he skipped payment on a job. A quiet murmur turned into a loud whisper, and suddenly his name was radioactive. The landlord, who I had looped in with the right documentation, agreed to take me off the lease. I moved out that Monday. Clean break. Taras, meanwhile, was couch hopping. I didn't ask where. I didn't care. He tried one last time. A voice note. Broken, hoarse, tired. I know I deserve all of it. I just wanted you to know. I loved you. I really did. I listened to it once. Then deleted it. Some messes don't deserve clean endings. 6 months later, I barely recognized the girl who once cried over a guy like Taras. I'd moved into a new apartment, smaller, but bright, modern, and mine. Pixel had claimed every surface, including my keyboard, as his personal throne. I'd landed a job with a Scandinavian design agency. Fully remote, well-paid, creative freedom. I even started doing yoga, which still felt like a scam invented by flexible people, but hey, I was trying. Alia and I remained inseparable. We joked about writing a book. How to dismantle a man with nothing but Wi-Fi and a grudge. Bestseller, obviously. She also started seeing this barista named Luca, who was just the right mix of sweet and hopelessly awkward. Watching her fall for someone good? That was healing in its own way. I, on the other hand, was in no rush. I dated casually, nothing serious. I went on one date with a guy who spent 20 minutes explaining NFTs, and another who said I reminded him of his mom. That was the last time I let Alia pick. Mostly, I focused on me. I traveled a bit. Took a solo trip to Lisbon. Read books I never had time for. Even started painting again. I was building a life that felt full, not because of who was in it, but because of what I was finally allowing myself to be. As for Taras? Word had it he was sleeping on a friend's pull-out couch, working editing gigs off Fiverr, and nursing the kind of reputation you don't bounce back from. I didn't stalk his socials. I didn't need to. That chapter was closed. One evening, I got a message request from an unknown account. Just 3 words, "You happy now?" I didn't respond. I didn't need to. Was I happy? Not every day. Some days I missed the way things used to be. Not him, just the illusion. But most days? Most days I felt free. Clean. Like I'd shed a skin I didn't know was choking me. I wasn't proud of everything I did. Revenge has a way of leaving ash on your hands. But I'd do it again. Because some people don't learn with kindness. They only learn when you take away what they thought they could keep forever. Terrace thought he had me. He thought he could lie, cheat, and come home to clean sheets and warm meals. But in the end, I didn't scream. I didn't break down. I just walked away. People always say the best revenge is living well. That's only half true. The best revenge? Living well while they watch from rock bottom, knowing they burned the only good thing they had. Revenge wasn't sweet. It was calm. And I slept like a baby. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.